like this before. We looked at each other in the same way then, but I can't remember when. Oh, we, oh, the clothes you're wearing are the clothes you wore, the smile you were smiling, you were smiling then. I can't remember when. Oh, something that happened for the first time seemed to be happening. Oh, yeah. And so it seems that we have met before, and that's before when love before, but who knows when, when. It seemed we were stood talk like this before. We looked at each other in the same way then. I can't remember when, the clothes you were wearing are the clothes you wore, the smile you are smiling, you were smiling, but can't remember when. Oh, when. Oh, some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. Oh, and so it seems we have met before. Before I don't know what to tell you. 6:45 and going on making noise. I'm gonna make some maps. Ptolemy said that 500 stadia equaled 1 degree. But views have differed on the length of the stadium. The reader will remember the stadium used by Eratosthenes, who was head of the Alexandrian Library 300 years before Ptolemy held the same position. And considering the maps, so Eratosthenes, he expressed a difference not in the length of the stadium, but in the number of stadia. So Ptolemy and Eratosthenes. The story began in Mesopotamia about 1811 when Claudius Rich began the discovery of Babylon. It continued with Paul Abada, Henry Layard, Henry Rawlinson, who brought back Assyria back into history. Egypt came back into history after Champollion solved the problem of Egyptian hieroglyphics. And in the 4th quarter of the century, Schliemann brought Troy out of the mist of legend, and Sir Arthur Evans gave substance to the myths of Crete. More recently still, in advanced culture, with strangely modern luxuries that flourished on the banks of the Indus River, 5,000 years ago, it seems, has joined the ranks of lost civilizations, rediscovered. I'm telling you, we can do it in English, so. The 8 books of the account of geography by Claudius Ptolemy of Alexandria. Also, 50 maps have been added of the ancient, as well as more recent times, and the various rites and customs of the people as described thereon. Of roads. Now Servetus, previous grown apprehensive, quickly regained his confidence and paid the printers extra money to hasten the completion of his apology so that it might be published and distributed before any further injunction should be issued by the court. In this final action he was aided by Jean Thibault, who had in his own score to settle with the medical faculty, which was now distributed. To be briefly, that Servetus presents less a strong defense than his usual demonstration of literal mindedness, and one is willing to accept the literal words of his authorities. His arguments have a certain validity, but of course it is merely a display of dialectical ability revolving within the framework of specially chosen statements. As strongly as his opponents were themselves bound by classical authorities, nevertheless they were unable to be influenced by the case Servetus presented, nor did he aid his cause by the lack of restraint in his presentation. But the examples of one, Nebraska province, will suffice. In Book 2, Chapter 10, Table 3 of Europe, there's a city which was formerly read as Shatira, although according to the Greek edition it ought to have been read Betera, which is a city of Bidderants, commonly called Beziers. Stephanus also called it Betera, and Mela, Pliny, and Strabo Blitera. In the same edition there was read Fossa Marina, although all the aforementioned writers attest that the Fossa Marina was the Roman Council Marius, which is now called Aquae Morticas al Mortis. Likewise, in one edition was read the river Sicarus, another Tisara, although issue had been read neither fashion but Hisara. Whether one examines the Greek edition or the writings of the others, and especially the commentaries of Caesar, although the modern name, which the same river has the vernacular, Asari, agrees with this. Nor may I be silent over the fact that there are those who in the same editions have written Anor for Arar, Solon River, and Budin for Dubai, Dubs, and Supero for Cicero, Averni for Avenro, Colnell, and Sampus Pulis for Centus, which today called Genius. Although calling a Catobro, which forms a Marcellus, are the one Greek and the other not Greek, and two of them was omitted. Moreover, there's a river is read, or Subrius was other called Orbis. You get it, it's tiresome. I shall nothing here the degrees of longitude and latitude, which I've corrected since they're sufficiently clear by reading a comparison. To the 8th book of Ptolemy, which, if you may believe Bilbert, Erasmus needed correction more than the others. We have adjourned a brief annotation by which the whole book were destroyed. Anyone even slightly skilled in mathematics would be able to easily to measure the length of the longer days and the distances from Alexander, not only of the cities described there by Ptolemy, but the others. Likewise, it ought to be known the arrangement of the cities, sometimes altered, was not the same tradition of Ptolemy. In our interpretation, since a transposition of places sometimes occurred after this time, so that today the German peoples have been placed on the map of Belgic Gaul between the Nibel and the Fanginese, Italy, and the part of Livorno. It was an Indian. And he said he had supernatural, it says a gun of about 7-foot barrel. He held it up with one hand. He was a puny man. He was accursed. He was an Indian witch, is what they said. Let's read the martyrs, though. Let's finish this off with a finale. Read the testimony and court documents. It said a gun. He had supernatural. He's an Indian. He was accused. He was being a horrible witch. I wonder if it's that kind of gun right there. That's good right there. But he's accused by them Puritans right there. And he had a gun. He's an Indian and a witch. Man, ain't that some crazy stuff? Wonder if that kind. It probably wasn't that one, no. It's probably this kind. This kind of kind. It's probably kind of had it right there, or something like that right there. It wasn't like this, but it's kind of like that right there. There's a good one. Not them right there, but them. These are one to keep right there on the side right there. There's old-fashioned qualifiers right there. There's a good one. These kind right there. Just old kind, man. This is a good type, man. It'll make it work. He's an Indian man. He liked leather. I get the leather shade a little bit, go with that right there. But anyway, I'm going to go boom, a little bitty one. Or it might have been something just a little bit different. Nose. There's a little one. The little ones. About the same. There's the little ones. Kind of like that. Little ones. Like that. The little ones. Or little ones like that one. He's an Indian. I don't know. It's one of them like things right there. It's crazy. You put them all right there. Yeah. I like the ribs with the Indians though. With different colors. Ribs. I like the ribs. That's a different. That might be what the Indian had right there. It's got a crook neck. You got a daddy long neck right there. See that crooked neck? Crooked neck, crooked neck. He's a crazy Indian is what he was. He's a crazy Indian. He's crazy Indian. There's a crooked neck, and there's a crooked neck. There's a crooked neck. There's a crooked neck. There's all crooked necks. Oh, there's a crooked neck. There's a soft point. That's a good deer run right there. That's a good deer. That's a good little deer right there, too. Let's see, we do a crooked neck. And a big neck. What are you going to do? Crooked neck? I like the crooked neck. Crooked neck. I don't know what the Indian done, though. The Indian was accused of witchcraft. And he was being on a crazy. It was a prison keeper's house. I wonder if I could tell you that much. And leave in the fill in the blank. And it was said, on the 29th of March, there was observed a deep red spot about the brightness of a flea bite. Who gave it that snake? They said no, the mother gave it. And there was a public feast. And if you read back there, the Indians, it was said that it was accused that when they weren't keeping the worship of God. And it was said that the blank had a blank that day at a house in the village, that they had red bread and red drink. The 1st of April, they in her fit said they did eat red bread like man's flesh. and would have come had her eat some, but she would not, but turned away her head and spit at them and said, I will not eat, I will not drink. It's blood. She said, that is the bread of life. Not, is that the water of life? Christ gives the bread of life. I will not have none of it. The 1st of April also, she had a fit. A man came with him in a glorious place, had no candles nor sun, yet was full of light and brightness, which was the great multitude, white glittering robes, and they sung the song, the 5th of Revelation, and the 9th verse. The 5th of Revelation, the 9th verse. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy, take the book, and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain, thou hast redeemed us to God by the blood, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. And thou hast made us to God, kings and priests, and we shall reign on earth. And I behold, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beast, and the number of them, 10,000, saying with a loud word. And the 9th verse, and the 110th Psalm. And the 110th Psalm, the Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion, rule in the midst of thine enemies. The people shall be willing in the day of thy power, and the beauties of the holiness from the womb. The morning has the dew of youth. The Lord has sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. The Lord at my right hand shall strike kings in the day of his wrath. Kings be damned, we shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places, the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. He shall drink of the brook in the way, therefore shall he lift up the head. And the 149th Psalm. Psalm 149. Praise ye the Lord, singing to the Lord a new song. The house and the congregation of saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in the King. Let them praise his name and dance. Let him sing praises unto him a timbrel and harp. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord. The 110 and 149 Psalm said with herself, How long shall I stay here? Let me be along with you. She was loth to leave this place, and grieved that she could tarry no longer. Has appeared several times. This blank that the witches had a sacrament that day, a house in the village, and that they had red bread and red drink. Did eat red bread like man's flesh. The witches in the sacrament, and with the Indians, and they got accused of witchcraft at the trial. And statement is, they read the Psalms with guns, with timbrels and harps, to put the magistrates on check. Mate.